Are you ready to be great? Stop letting self-doubt, insecurity, and fear prevent you from building your business. This morning, wake up to success. Here's John Preston.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Wake Up to Success. Today, I want to start with a very simple question. Do you want to be rich? Now, I know most of you started your business or got into sales because you wanted to make money and you wanted to have that level of success and see that scorecard, which we call a paycheck. I mean, that is how we really judge the level of our success. And I know when I asked the question, do you want to be rich? Your immediate answer was probably, yeah, I want to be rich. But what I have found is that a lot of us suffer from a very misguided perception of wealth. Let's admit, rich is a four-letter word to a lot of people. It's a way of describing how money can corrupt. And we've all heard stories about how money can corrupt you. But the truth of the matter is, money can also open up doors which will allow you to accomplish things in the world that never would have been possible otherwise. What I have found working with business owners is that a lot of people will skirt the question of, do you want to be rich? And they'll say something like, well, I don't need to be rich, but I just want to have enough money to support my family. Or I just want to have enough money to be able to help the community. Well, the truth of the matter is, the more money you make, the more you can help the community. And the more quality time you can spend with your family because you're not worrying about having to pay the bills. So today I want to take a look at a book that was written over 110 years ago by a guy named Wallace Wattles. The book is The Science of Getting Rich, in which he outlines what he calls a very scientific and proven guideline for becoming rich. And I will say, this book opens up with what many consider to be a very controversial statement. The first line of the book says, "Whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich." And you can imagine how that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It implied you had to be rich to be happy, which is really exactly what Wattles was trying to say. You know, one of the things we hear all the time is we think when you're working to make more money, that it takes time away from your family, that it takes time away from your community because you're focused so intently on making money. And one of the fascinating things about this book, and we're going to talk about a little more over future episodes, is his science of getting rich actually makes you a better person along the way. And that's really remarkable. And so we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to delve into this whole thought about being rich is a bad thing. It's amazing how we will self-sabotage to avoid that. Where did that come from? Well, I tell you, it starts when we're really little. When we're 2 or 3 years old and we're in the floor playing and mom and dad get in a big fight. Well, most couples fight about money. So in our 2-year-old brain, which doesn't have the ability to consider the argument in any kind of context, and it doesn't have the ability to look at the intricacies of the argument and figure out what's going on, in our 2-year-old brain, what we think is money equal mom and dad arguing. Money equal anger. Money equal fear. All of these things are in us because it's all we can process. And that becomes part of our subconscious. And it holds a lot of people back because in a fight between our conscious efforts and our subconscious efforts to thwart ourselves, the subconscious wins every time. So we've got to bring that subconscious to the front. And so I want to focus on doing that involving your perception of money. And really what Wallace goes on to say here is very sensible. You can never become a great man or woman until you've overcome anxiety, worry, and fear. And he speculates that you can't overcome those things when you're worried about paying your bills, because there's always a underlying tension and stress that serves as a cloud over your life when you worry about paying your bills. Now, Wallace goes on to say, the very best thing you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself. He argues that as you're able to develop yourself, your intellect, your body, your spirit, your soul, as you're able to elevate those things, then you can do more good in the world. And the only way you can do that is to be rid of your financial fears. And so he wraps that thought up by saying, you want to get rich in order that you may surround yourself with beautiful things, see distant lands, feed your mind and develop your intellect, in order that you may love others and do kind things and be able to play a good part in helping the world to find truth. So his argument is not that you need to get money, be selfish, hoard it, treat people badly, the things that we often associate with wealth, but instead, the wealth opens up the door for you to become the person you're capable of being, which will then help change the world. And that is incredibly powerful. And as I mentioned, over the next few episodes, we're going to look at the specific path he's created to allow us to create the wealth so we can change the world. And it's very powerful, but it starts with acknowledging that it's okay to seek wealth. It's okay to push your business further and further along to success. Because if the day comes when you can be officially declared rich, your ability to help the world reaches whole new levels. And you can accomplish so much good because now you've got the resources to do so.